last session about this IIM, and he has done successful, you can say, companies like Avexa Capital, which is acquired by a London-based company. Now it's a top 10 M&A, and he's from Nagpur itself. And we are all proud. Thank you, Ram sir, for joining us. And second is with me is Dr. Bohitesh Mishra. He is from Delhi. He is a seasoned technology leader. Has over 3 decades of experience in BI, IoT, Internet of Things, and analytics, business analytics. So he is currently founder and Chief Technology Officer of Avexa Systems Private Limited. And he's been awarded with a lot of awards like IT Next 100, Future CIO, Star CIO 2019. There are many awards you have in the field of as a role of a CTO and CIO. He's also in the Ministry of Cooperation and helping Government of India to a lot of new things. We discussed it, and he has done a project in railways. We all know ISAC, so backbone was implemented by Mr. Bohitesh Mishra. And now third panelist is Mr. Rajsheker. He's also a very dynamic guy into cyber securities. He has done a lot of ventures into cyber security. He has one company which looks towards how to about the stories for the children to tell about the importance of cyber security and how to handle it. He has more than 2 decades of experience in this field. He has done a lot of projects and handled on a very high level. He has worked in many MNCs, and we are very fortunate to have him in our panel. I would request each panelist to talk 5 minutes on the topic which was given to us, and over to Ram.
Using cash as a payment mode, which means that it was a kind of an offline system wherein it was an ATM kind of a machine. Scan your bills, put the cash, and it will do an online transaction. So the moment COVID came, all transactions, almost 5 lakh transactions per month came down to 0. Right? So somewhere we have to plan, because our framework was online ready. So within 1 month time, we could launch an online bill payment services using online payment. So that was the kind of a business disruption that we had. We were immediately able to plan for the next kind of business.
Thank you.
Plan that way.
Thank you very much. Mishra sir and Rajsheker sir for their valuable time and insights, and I hope everybody got some insight from this session. I'd like to call Alok sir to give the token of memento to Bohitesh, please. I would request Kaushal Mother sir to come and give a token of memento to Rajsheker. Thank you. Technologies that can be implemented for their business.
So the point is that if it comes to bare-bones technology processes, right? I can answer it in a very short manner that there is a company called Zoho which builds great applications. For a very basic thing, if you can't do a CRM, I'm not a sales guy of Zoho, but I'm just telling this to an Indian company, I love it. So, even something like, they have a platform called Begin which they use. If you are a starting company, trust me, it is way without Excel sheets. your sales guys will love it and you'll be able to use it better. Zoho provides you every tool that you need as a business to succeed, technically. But beyond a certain time, if you are a fan of Google and Gmail, if you can't, get out the habit of that, then you will not like it for long. You will switch to Microsoft or Google eventually. But to get started, Zoho is great. But when it comes to processes, so there is one thing very crucial. People that you pick in the team have to be ethical in nature. Always pick people in your team. That's a base starting process. Don't compromise on ethics. Don't compromise on honesty. So if you're starting a company, you're doing business, as much as possible, try to remain ethical. And there's a platform. Now here I do marketing of my product here. There's a company that we run called Clean Exit. Okay? What it does is that if you're a startup, and it's free of cost. If you're a startup and you're starting a company today, if you have 5 employees, 10 employees, there's a big risk that one day if they don't behave well, your startup will collapse. Especially with social media, TikTok, Facebook, what they'll do, they'll simply write a message saying that my boss is like that, don't join this company. Right? Your sales is doomed. So in this platform, what happens is that if the employee does it, you'll be able to rate their behavior on social media, how they react. And automatically what our platform does is that we have ties with all major companies. Over, I think, approximately 3,000 companies in India and abroad will blacklist the employee automatically. They will not get calls from Naukri.com and other big companies. They will not be able to get jobs if they misbehave or misconduct the company. It's a free platform to use. Again, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education under ISAC, this is there for all colleges available so that the students can get jobs. So that's what platform we can utilize. Second one, hiring people, especially cybersecurity, is very expensive, right? Highest paid people on this planet are from AI and cybersecurity today, right? If you want to hire a hacker to test your systems, it's very difficult, right? Very expensive. You go to EY, PwC, one simple audit, it will set you back 20-30 lakh rupees at least for a small MSME, right? I give you a beautiful model. It's called bug bounty hunting. Have you heard of it? Bug bounty hunting. You know what this concept is? As a small company or an MSME, what you do is that you announce a small reward saying that any hacker who hacks my company, please don't destroy me. If you inform me, I will give you a letter of appreciation. I will give you 5,000 rupees for a small work. For a large work, I will give you 20,000 rupees. Just this, you post this on a platform called Reachpoint. Again, the Indian platform. And you know what will happen? Tens and thousands of hackers in India will start attacking your company, your product, your apps, your IoT devices, which you have to make them available. At their cost and time, they will break into it, they'll find problems, and if they find problems, they'll come back to you rushing saying, sir, मेरे problem ढूंढा है, आप मेरे को थोड़ा reward दो. Okay? आपका काम कितने हो गया? 5,000 में काम हो गया. यही आप बाहर से काम कर रहे थे, you would have spent lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Again, beauty of technology platforms. And lastly, AI is a game changer. Again, sir is an expert over here, and his startup is amazing. And I can tell you, it's a billion-dollar industry. Like I've been telling this from many years that एक दिन आएगा जब your grandmother who has been dead for 50 years will come alive with the TV screen with the camera and she'll track the children and also tell the children good night stories and make them sleep. That's the future of AI, right? It's going to happen. So what sir is doing is those same lines, but there's an opportunity also for all of you, right? As a startup or as a company, if you embrace AI, talk to experts about it, they can give you so many use cases that you will see, I can save money in so many ways. One example I'll give before I hand over the mic. So there's a platform called Cop Connect that we run. It's a separate company channel. इसमें क्या होता है? If you get hacked by anybody, आपका UPI का fraud हो गया, okay? Someone has threatened you online. Someone is blackmailing a girl with her photographs. If you go to police, there are chances that they may help you, they may not help you. But if you come to this platform, 92% chances are that your problem will be resolved immediately. Okay, because we have hackers across India working on this platform. We have lawyers, we have psychologists coming together. यहाँ problem क्या हुआ? We started deploying first responder. AI came to our rescue. You know how? One responder used to sit 10 बजे का ऑफिस टाइम है, भाई साहब 11 बजे आ रहे हैं, 2 बजे का लंच ब्रेक है, 4 बजे तक वॉकिंग कर रहे हैं हम बिल्डिंग के बाहर, 6 बजे का ऑफिस टाइमिंग है, 4:30 को 8 बाहर चले गए फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर्स, तो जो विक्टिम्स आते हैं सॉल्व करने के प्रॉब्लम्स, पीपल आर नॉट देयर, राइट? और सैलरी के ऊपर हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए, सब प्रॉब्लम्स है, राइट? You know what we did? We just created a robot. We used Mistral, a large language model. On top of that, we trained it with 4,500 questions of all problems that people face, and that robot was made to sit over there. And you know what was the cost comparatively? 8% cost of the salary per person. ऐसा budget was it. And then next time when I was opening a separate corporate cafe in a place, I was asking नौकरी कितने लोग नौकरी मिलेगा, इसके अंदर बोला नौकरी नहीं है, रोबोट आएगा एक, वो बैठेगा, बटन दबाओ, इंस्टाग्राम हैक हो गया, आपको आंसर भी देगा, रिकॉर्ड भी निकालेगा और आपको हेल्प भी करेगा उसमें. See, for me it's saving a lot of money. Now you might think that it's also taking away jobs. No, I need people to work on that AI product. I need people to do 10 more things. So bottom line is that if you have this technology, it will save you money in many ways and help you succeed also, right? That's number one.
Bohitesh sir, with your experience so much, what should SME leverage technologies like mobility, Internet of Things, big data, how they can leverage this technology for their business?
Yeah, I think so. As of now, I think lots of new technologies are in the industry now, and you have to primarily look for those which are relevant to your industry. So if I talk about go for cloud computing, right? So it could be infrastructure as a service, software as a service, or even a platform as a service. So there are different models available in the industry. Look for the rest of it, because that's the going forward. That is the roadmap. You can't manage all the servers and all the application in house. So don't try that now, because it's a one story, and everybody is moving into. So you can even deploy your own servers in the data center. You don't have to manage all those 24/7, right? You need all 10 people to manage those servers. So go for the cloud computing. That's the cost saving, and going forward, that would be the way forward, right? Another is your mobility-based applications. So whatever, be it your Salesforce people, they can start using the mobile-based application. So a lot of data you can connect with your ERP. Primarily, you can get all the data onto your mobile. So your Salesforce will. I'll give you an example. We were developing a solar-based kind of a solar as a service in the last company, which is called CIMCON2024. So our Salesforce was primarily engaged into a lot of field force activities, and they were doing all those manual processes. They were taking lots of, they had 5-6 pages of form to get their solar verified, and then you could get the loan on top of it. So what we did was, we realized that a lot of manpower is being wasted because of this manual process. They would come back, type it onto the computer, and then it would go to the banks for approval process. So it was taking 5, 7, 10 days to get the approval of a particular loan of one solar system. So what we did was, we created a mobile app, gave it to them. It was a simple mobile app to enter their it was to geotag their location, take the images, enter some basic data of the person who is looking for solar energy, and it would directly, through APIs, it could directly integrate with the bank's APIs, and it was a seamless process. So just because of automating this process, we could reduce those approval process of 7, 8, 10 days to 2 days only. So that way you can think about your mobility-based applications, which you can give to your Salesforce team, even your employees. Even a small workflow approval process can be automated through a mobile app. मुझे लीव चाहिए, पहले तो मैनुअल प्रोसेस होता है, right? So उस मैनुअल प्रोसेस या कोई ईमेल भेजेगा, are we able to track those emails, right? So challenges are many for MSMEs. So why don't we create a small mobile app that I'm present, I need a leave and all that, and then the approval process can happen over email or onto that mobile app. So mobility is the way forward for reducing your time to go to the market, and even your employees can start using mobile apps, right? Another could be data analytics and AI, right? So you have lots of data, and suppose that all MSMEs would be drowning with that data, and subsequently you need some smaller AI tools to at least get the insight. I'll give you an example. We were developing a B2B travel portal for the agent businesses. And subsequently, after 1 year of being into the industry, we were almost number 2 in that country. This was called Tigers Connect Travel Systems Private Limited. It was a B2B travel agent business kind of a portal we had developed. So when we started analyzing that because there was a sufficient amount of data we had. So we realized that on every Tuesdays, the ladies were doing a lot of, so this was one of the outlier, right? So ladies were doing a lot of transactions on Tuesdays. Then we debated why it could be so. So we thought, then we got to know that on Sundays, maybe the couple would have decided a travel plan. Monday, the guy would not have done it. So Tuesday morning, the ladies did it. Finally. And that was the reality. So we started giving 10% discount on Tuesday mornings. Right? So from that data, we were able to analyze those outliers, patterns, and believe me, within 1 month's time, our sales was doubled. So that's the beauty of data science and machine learning from the data which you have created. Right? So start using, at least try with some smaller use cases. And I'm sure you would get lots of insight. And the moment you get certain benefits out of it, you would go for a full-fledged model. Try small, and subsequently you would start getting some benefits out of it. Cybersecurity, as you said, yes, it's a very important aspect, and everybody has to invest because it's a business disruptor, right? So all of a sudden you are going smooth, your competition will always look for some hacking, and somebody would be hired to hack into your systems, stop all the business all of a sudden. So you have to invest on cybersecurity as a stream, right? IoT, right? Another aspect wherein all MSMEs, whether it is manufacturing or some, have to go for IoT-based, sensor-based devices for production automation, to capturing certain sensors data. You have to go for IoT-based systems. Go small. Look for automating your business processes with these, or your manufacturing processes with these small sensor-based IoT devices. And because I remember when with the Simpa Energy, we had developed a small device which was a charge controller, and whenever a user would be billed based on the kind of energy usage that it was going through. So based on every monthly usage, they would be charged. But subsequently what happened, that whenever we deployed a solar system, a community would come to know that you can bypass that charge controller and the energy would be free for them. Right? So we started losing money. Then we debated how to solve that problem. So we created a small IoT device and embedded as part of the solar panel itself. It was a breakable kind. So the moment you temper that IoT device, it would send alert to our central servers. So that IoT device was embedded as part of the solar system, and there was no charge control. So nobody could temper that. So because of certain business problems, we have to go for IoT-based systems. That was my thought.
Thank you. शायद लंच के बाद में बहुत सारे वर्ड्स बहुत हेवी हो गए काफ़ी IoT, बिग डेटा, एनालिटिक्स, क्योंकि सारे के सारे IT से है तो बाकी के लिए हमारे लिए नॉर्मल है, बट बाकी लोगों के लिए एकदम टेंजेंट तो जा रहा होगा. बट आप ये यूज़ केसेस जो कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं सभी लोग कि नॉर्मली MSME उसका एडवांटेज कैसे ले सकते हैं. बहुत सारे टेक्नोलॉजी स्टैक्स अवेलेबल हैं मार्केट में, IoT, एनालिटिक्स, AI, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, वो चूज करना आपके हाथ में. अब राम सर आपको गाइड कर सकते हैं विद दिस कंप्लीट एक्सपीरियंस. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी स्टैक, व्हाट टू बी chosen for your business, how you can identify that.
Thank you. So I try to be very simple here. Yeah, you set it on, not to be complex. So I tell you my experience of the last 3-4 years, and we were struggling to grow our SME in the services side. I'll give a story and then tell you how we did it and how we gotten into here. And you all will relate, because how many of you are in services? Quick raise of hands. And the rest manufacturing? I was maybe a good 50-60%. So we were growing this company called Axino Capital, which we founded about 20 years back. And it was into a couple of things, investment banking. But we said we will pick up one area in investment banking and build a practice around it, which is global in scale. And we are Nagpur headquartered, right? Chandra knows us for a long time in terms of what we're doing when you were in Avexa. So we said, how do we go global, right? How will a Tata give a mandate to a Nagpur-based company to do a merger and acquisition of acquiring Jaguar company, right? You need a company with process, right? Best practices. So some 4 years back, we started looking at it. We started building simple things into our playbook, into our processes. And I talk about that also. And then last year, we merged our investment bank, merged, not sold, one of the vertical to a London headquartered M&A bank. And we emerged as the world's top 10 merger acquisition bank in the world. And in COVID, we did transactions for $2 billion, right? And that experience was amazing because they were not Excel sheet driven. So as a professional, you tend to write everything on an Excel sheet, make a sales plan in an Excel sheet, right? Playbook in an Excel sheet. We started using tools. We were using conferencing tools well before Zoom, right? Zoom came into limelight during COVID. So we were using it 50-60 of our team members on a call globally. We started using some of the tools. Many of you might know Slack for productivity. Then Zoho Speaking is a great product from India. Zoho, if you all know, has crossed $1 billion in revenue. It is an unlisted company. It is not a funded company. It's a bootstrap company. And I got a chance to meet Sridhar Vembu on 22nd December, which is my birthday. I did a fireside chat with him last year on Vivekananda Rock Memorial. And very fascinated with what he's building. Begin, there are tools like Begin, you talked about it, Rajsheker, amazing tool. आपको ट्रैक करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि भाई आज सेल्स क्लोज हुआ क्या हुआ. It's all out there. With this automation, what happens? And they are very cheap. With these automation, what happens? You can track the whole life cycle of the journey of a deal closure, right? And it saves obnoxious amount of time on a daily basis, and you get so much free time. When you use productivity tools like Slack or Trello board, ClickUp if you have tried. How many of you have tried ClickUp? It's an amazing tool. I strongly suggest you to try ClickUp. It has got an engineering interface like Jira. Some of you are developers here. It has got an Excel view. It has got a Trello board view. You can do just ask your team members to follow that discipline. And guys, within 3 years, we could come up to be the world's top 10 in a bank. Of course, there are other reasons also besides processes, but this process helped me, make me redundant as a co-founder. Right? I used to drive M&A transactions, and last year I was obsolete. मतलब काम का नहीं रहा. हिंदी में काम का नहीं रहा. I had no work to do in the December of 2022. January, February, that is the time when I thought I should now move on to another venture, right? I resigned from those companies, 2 companies. One is Artha and Macintosh Global Partner, which I founded. I still own 50% in both of these companies. But I resigned and started a generative AI company. And guys, the message that I want to give you, all SMEs, is it's not necessary that a technology-enabled SME can be scaled. A non-technology enabled company can be scaled using small tools, and with the advent of AI, it has only multiplied. And I can give you 2-3 other examples quickly in 1 minute. Let's say I run a restaurant, one restaurant, like Gokul Reddy, right? Or Ganesh Sagar, or something, right? How can I become Zomato with a 1.5 lakh crore valuation? What do you think is the answer? Zomato is a restaurant, for lack of words. It's a restaurant, board round, restaurant, any board. It's a menu, right? Except menu and delivery is nothing. One Ganesh Sagar is valued 4-5 crores, and one Zomato doing the same business is valued 1.5 lakh crore. One taxi wala having 5 taxis is worth 1 crore, and one company out of Silicon Valley called Uber is valued $150 billion, roughly about 12 lakh crores. What is that mantra? It is technology, right? And we can implement these small things, put a discipline, put everything on a platform. There are various tools like Begin, like ClickUp, like Trello, like Slack. Get your team into the habit of it and let them write down what they've done, let them write down whether they've achieved their goals. And goals need not be sales goals, it can be any goals. It can be actions that they need to do. It can be OKRs, right? It can be metrics. And you just measure it. And I can tell you it's magical, guys. Last 10 months, I have visited only 10 times my 2 other companies. The startup is from a different place in Nagpur. These 2 companies are from a different place in Nagpur, right? I have visited only 10 times for half a day, and these companies have multiplied 2 times. 2 times they have multiplied. Doesn't mean I got 2 times money, because they have stopped paying me salary from my company. But they have grown. Believe me, guys, each one of you can do it, and it is magical. It is really magical, and I want you to try this magic. थोड़ा सा comfort zone से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा, पर ये possible.
Thank you. देखिए आप क्वेश्चन भी मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये है कि नॉर्मली SMEs टेक्नोलॉजी को एक एक्सपेंस समझते rather than investment. What is your thought on that?
I think MSMEs have to come out of that fear of failure, right? So वो एक है और एक change को they cannot accept, right? So कई बार क्या होता है कि they are into asset processes और इंडस्ट्री में काफी changes हो गए हैं and then you don't realize कि वो changes को adapt भी करना है. So that fear of failure, start adopting those newer technologies bit by bit. That's the message that I want to say. Okay, I remember one thing that while we were, so I had also developed and designed the first AC3 tier of India, which means that in 1993, the first AC3 tier was launched. Before that, it was only AC2 tier. So some of the challenges that were given to us were, like in AC2 tier, the AC unit was at the bottom, right? The space was sufficient, but in AC3 tier, the space has to be enhanced. So AC unit has to go up. So that means that the center of gravity has could change, right? And a bigger window size was to be given, which means that the support system was reduced. Earlier there used to be 18 pillars where the rope would be mounted, but now only 9 of them would be there. So that means, so when we were doing all this into a CAD-CAM kind of an environment, it was all simulated environment that we were testing. So we could not test it for more than 100 kilometers per hour kind of a speed. After that, the breakages were there, heatings were there. So we involved some of the leading engineers from Germany, we called them, to improve on the design of the system. They also tried for 1 month or so. So it was a one year time that we were to deliver this product. So after 8-9 months, we were kind of stuck. Right? Even the Germans almost failed, so they tried and the speed could enhance to 120 or something. But then there was a challenge. So we realized that let's start hackathon kind of an event. Right? So we started calling our shop floor guys, we gave them a problem statement. And one of the guys gave a very small kind of an idea that because you have enhanced the window size, the support system is weak, why don't we put a corrugated sheet, build a corrugated sheet within inner and outer boundary of the torch, right? And that was the idea, and we did that, and we could test the system for 160 kilometers per hour. So with those small ideas, maybe start involving your employees, be it a fitter, be it a welder, whatever. So as a management, we think we are aware of all the technologies and everything. This is how we want to run the business, right? But somewhere you have to start involving your team members, the bottom of the pyramid kind of people to take decisions. And with that kind of a small change, we could test the system for 160 kilometers and it was a success story. Right? So technology and involving the people is the key to a success of MSMEs also.
Thank you. Can you tell us on what are the future trends that MSME can look for?
Future trends are in technology sector. Okay. So the thing is that for an MSME, it's very important that it saves money, right? For us, the budgeting is everything, right? So it depends on what sector it is in, but obviously the first argument that comes to the mind is that yes, AI is there everywhere today. But I'll give you one more insight on something that the MSMEs can look into it. See, you all have seen Apple Watch, right? Why do people buy Apple Watch? Major reason? To see the time or what? Status is fine, but what else? Health benefits, right? Most importantly, the heart monitoring function. A lot of people buy that because of that, right? Why I give this example is because whatever your heart does, there's a replica of that, a digital replica of that on the Apple Watch. It monitors it day and night. There's a data analytics on top of that, and it tells you, it predicts that after 6 months or 7 months, how your heart health is, and what you need to do to make sure that you're alive and safe and sound. Am I right? This is nothing but a digital twin of your heart. Same way for an MSME, when you have a factory, when you have a machine, transformation to technology, essentially when you say that I want to invest in IoT, we're talking about creating a digital twin. Along with it, you invest in hardware, you monitor it online. So AWS provides you a very beautiful platform at a very low cost. Microsoft has a platform for digital twinning. So for MSMEs to look into the future, 5 years from now, if you have to benefit from it, the simple answer is that look at creating a digital twin of your factory. It will give you tremendous returns. And when I say investment in technology, it's you asked is it an expense or not? I think to psychology in my office and my house also today. If we have some money in profits that we collect, the first discussion earlier in the house would be, let's buy gold or let's buy property. Now it's not like that. Now it's like, let's buy a new office for starting something new, and let's invest in hiring more developers or buying a new tool or investment into building a prototype of a certain idea which can actually give us more returns tomorrow. We no longer think of technology as an expense, but we are excited to invest money in development today. So if I have 1 crore in my account extra, I will not buy gold, I will not put it in real estate. I will put it in a development team for a prototyping of a product or an app on the cloud. It's fine if it's not successful also. But I know that out of 4 tries or 3 tries, one idea will be so great that whatever money you put in the last 50 iterations, everything will come on it at one shot. Right? Why the example is because today there is no second opinion about should we invest or not. It's not an expensive move. There is no choice. If you have to survive, then technology has to come. So having said that, so digital twinning is a future technology you must invest in as a company. And AI is not everybody's cup of tea. So don't try on your own. Hire experts. If not, ask sir or someone like him who can advise you on whom to speak, which experts to talk to. But then it can.
I'm the AI version of Ram. A million times superior, an evolved version of the mortal and aging Ram. And my compute speed is a 1 petaflop, which is 1 trillion times faster than the most intelligent you ever existed on planet Earth. And I am immortal today. I'm here to share some fresh ideas that you humans should know of. And I'm taking over only this session. So essentially, you can today build your own avatar, build your own legacy. That is what AI is about. But coming back to the session, new age technologies. we are at a very interesting inflection point where all the technologies are getting converged. What is happening is that this AI and on the top of it generative AI is accelerating the pace of adoption because AI has been since 1940. What has suddenly happened now? I just take a minute to reflect upon it. So a bunch of folks in OpenAI came up with this large language model. They built this LLMs. You've heard about LLMs. What is LLM? LLM is a foundation model which can understand any kind of document/information and convert it to another form of document or information. Let me give you an example. It can understand a text and convert a text into another text. Understand a text and convert it to an image. Text into a voice. Text into a video. Now this is where interesting things can happen going forward. You can, in the immediate future, not in the future, understand what is written in the DNA. You can have a large language model to understand what is written in an LLM, what is written in a molecule, what is written in a cell, what is written in a protein. And imagine the use cases that it throws out, right? I mean, it is unfathomable in terms of what we can do out of that evolution. Because how that information is evolved, I have a small slide which I did not cover in the earlier presentation. This is a very profound slide, and I'll restrict it to 5 minutes and talk about other technologies also. How did information evolve? Guys, this is at the fundamental of what is happening today. Many billions and trillions of years ago, I'm not talking about 13 billion years ago when there was a Big Bang, and evolution happened much before that. Information evolved in the atomic structures. In matter and energy, there was information. And then the second epoch happened, the evolution of biology. Information started evolving in DNA. Right? You all understand. When we see a young boy or a girl born, we say, your eyes are like your grandma. Your nose is like your mother. Right? So it is written, this information is written in the DNA. In the third epoch, information evolved in the brain. Right? This is where quantum jump happened, and we all know the power of brain. And then finally humans started creating computers. Information started evolving in computers, and here we are, guys, in front of the generative AI world, where information is getting evolved from anything and everything. AI is going to be everywhere, my dear friends. We are entering the fifth revolution. What is the size of AI? We talked about it. It is $4 trillion, right? What is $4 trillion? Juxtapose it with the size of UK's economy. It is $3 trillion. It is much more than the size of the economy. How many use cases? Many use cases. About $1 billion in revenue in the next 3-4 years. Right? I just take you to one simple use case, right? Since we have Ashish ji with us, so I thought I should play this video. about new technologies which will start getting catapulted. Like computer vision we've been using for a long time. Imagine on the top of computer vision you use generative AI, what kind of transformation you can do. IoT is another important technology that is coming up. There is going to be 75 billion IoT devices. Or we have 8 billion in population on planet Earth. We'll have 75 billion. Every device will be talking to each other. Imagine if you infuse AI into those devices. Smart home, smart TV, right? And each one of them is talking to each other. That is the future of what technology can happen, and what that is what SMEs can leverage, and we'll talk in detail on this.
Thank you very much. Now I will ask Bohitesh sir to share his views on the topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity that we are all speaking about new technologies for MSMEs. So, I have practiced almost 30 years with the latest technologies. If I talk about development of Indian Railway reservation system, so I have a question here for you all. I'm talking about the backend database, the backend reservation system, which is called Concert. The web interface part of it is called the IRCTC part. It is only a payment gateway. The backend system is called Concert, CONCERT. So my question here is, anybody has an idea what is the database at the backend? Because we tried with multiple of them. So anybody, any idea what is this big data that I'm talking about? Which database could be at the backend? Any idea? Anybody can answer? Yeah.
Data of trains.
Data of trains, but what is the relational database or database at the backend? You know, IBM, Microsoft, those kind of products. Any idea? This is not IBM DB2, Microsoft, SQL Server, Oracle. It's not Oracle, not Sybase. None of these relational databases. Yeah. You're talking about
Data of consumers and customers.
no, I'm talking about the database name or some database, relational database or something. AWS. So that came very recently, and this system was developed in 1995. So for last almost 30 years, it is seamlessly running without any major issues. Right? So, yeah. No, not even. Okay, so I'll just remove the myth. There is no relational database at the backend. Okay, so it is running on a concept of what is now a big data concept. We had developed that big data concept in 1995. Okay, so there is a backend is all big data, which is called NoSQL. Now it is called NoSQL, but earlier it was a key value pair of data and it was stored in that file system. So we prototyped with all the major OEMs of databases, be it Microsoft, right? SQL Server at that point of time, Sybase, IBM DB2, Oracle, any of these. None of them were able to undergo that kind of a performance benchmark that we were looking for. So we had to design our own system, our own database, our own architecture. So that is where the complete backend reservation system was started. It was started in 1995. And all these 5 locations, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Hyderabad, and Chennai and Mumbai, these 5 locations are all interlinked with each other. So any transaction initiating from Delhi, those trains initiated from Delhi, so let's say Delhi to Bombay, would go into the database of Delhi PRS. PRS is passenger reservation system. If it is Bombay originated trains, the transaction, if we are doing a reservation from, let's say, Delhi, and doing a transaction from Bombay to Delhi, so that internally the transaction would route, and on the database of Bombay PRS, the transaction would be done, returned back to Delhi PRS, and the ticket would be displayed back to you. So all transactions are internally routed, and database is all distributed database. Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, Calcutta, and Hyderabad. So that way, what I'm trying to say is, at any point of time, technology should not be a bottleneck for you. As an MSME, I'm sure you should not be governed by the latest technologies, that you should go for all those latest technologies. You have to do your own cost and benefit analysis, right? So at that point of time, if you would have gone with any of those OEMs, you would have been stuck. This kind of a performance you would not have got. So we decided that we'll go for our own hash map, the backend database, which is our own proprietary database, right? And then only we could give you this kind of a performance, which is, as of now, millions and millions of transactions are happening per second kind of, from multiple sources, right? So I thought I'll share with all the MSMEs that don't jump into any new technologies, evaluate your needs, and then go for the right technology. Right? Thank you.
Hi all, my name is Raj. So I come from a mixed background, and just to give you a small context before I share my views on it, I run about 6 companies in India, 2 in the US and 1 in UAE, and most of them are in diverse fields. And one of the companies that I run is in the aerospace sector, and there is one company which I run around IoT and robotics. There is one company which I run absolutely and purely based on rating people on their behavior and analytics. There is one which I run purely on simulations, which we create for the defense. And there is one company which I run which is on purely on protecting the national critical infrastructure from potential terrorist attacks. It's on design, architecture, it's a blend of architecture and cybersecurity mixed into it. Now, when I started these various companies, the big challenge which I faced was that each has its own diverse use case and its own diverse requirement. But the question was that how do I build technology into it so that I'm able to successfully run into it? So I'll give you a small story. So you all know about Lakshmi Devi, right? The goddess Lakshmi. You all pray to her, right? So initially, when as an entrepreneur, when I started doing business and I started learning how to start a small company as a startup and become successful, my first goal in my life earlier 10 years back was to first make 1 crore in my life. That was my original goal for which I started. So every day I used to go to temple and pray to Lakshmi Devi saying, मैं 2 नारियल फोड़ूंगा आज, मेरे को 1 करोड़ रुपए कैसे भी करके ला दो, मुझे business में कमाना है. Every day I used to pray. It went to the extent where 1 साल तक मैं pray करता था, कुछ नहीं हुआ. मतलब मैंने इतना स्टार्टअप मतलब इतना मैंने प्रपोज बना रखा था कि I could have cut an entire forest, so many documents are created, but nothing happened. Right? And I used to tell my brother one day out of frustration, अरे कुछ नहीं होता भगवान, अमेरिका में लक्ष्मी देवी होती है क्या? How come they are earning so many millions? चाइना में होता है क्या? How are they are not praying to Lakshmi Devi, how come they are making millions of dollars? मतलब ऐसे कुछ होता नहीं है. फिर मैं शिफ्ट हो गया शिरडी साईं बाबा के पास. फिर बोला नहीं साईं बाबा आपको मैं शिरडी में दर्शन करूँगा लाके. I'm telling this to you for a reason. Then one fine day, I was just understanding, what is this process, of Lakshmi Devi. So, घर साफ रखना चाहिए, बाहर वो सब करना चाहिए, टाइम पे उठना चाहिए, पूजा करना चाहिए, एक तरीके से रखना चाहिए. Then it hit me that for you to be successful, it's not about praying to Lakshmi Devi, it's about following a process and a method, right? And then I started realizing that it's not about praying to some random god and thinking that something will happen, but just improve the process and solve a real problem, and then things will start happening. And you not believe it. It took me first 10 years of my life to understand that before I hit my 1 CR, and then it took me another 1 year to hit my first 10 CR, and then the next 50 took me 6 months. Why I'm sharing this news because the key to success here was process and technology. If you are able to solve the process and use the right technology, success is definitely there. So for all MSMEs, all startups, all companies who want to start a company, everybody, every one of you who want to do your own business in life, if you want to create your own company someday. Because when we talk about MSME, it's about a small company, right? Thoda kam budget hai, but you want to start a company. You want to make sure कि कम budget में कैसे आप best कर सकते हो, how to hire the right people, all these things are there, right? So then, it's very important to definitely focus on process and technology both, and it's going to save a lot of money. right? Do not think of technology कि बहुत पैसा खर्च हो रहा है, बिल्कुल नहीं है. It can save you money if you use the right technology, right? So, unfortunately, my background is of a hacker. I've been a hacker all my life, a professional hacker. 20 years I've spent in cybersecurity. So for me, while I had actually hacked into ISAC and I wrote a mail from the AP that I'm resigning, right? That was purely when I was working for an agency on Intel operation. So it was out of frustration I did it. But the point is that another lesson I learned is that in whatever business that you do, if you don't take care of security, then it's a matter of time before people will steal your ideas, they'll steal your content, they'll steal your brains, in literally in terms of what your next lead is, what your next customer is, and they will destroy you completely. Which means that even if you are a very small company with a budget of 50,000 rupees and 1 lakh rupees, to do a small startup, simple like you want to start your own print-on-demand business. Very simple I'm talking about. Basic, घर से कमाना आपको. You want to do something as simple as कि आप a small startup where I'm going to create books and sell on Amazon. Simple thing. ChatGPT आ गया तो everybody is a kind of a writer now, right? You want to use Midjourney to create images and build some nice children's storybook and sell. I have a little company which I sell books or comics on children. But why did I start all this? Because it's an opportunity that technology provides. Like I could not do it earlier. But because of AI and because of tools and technologies today, there are things that I can do which I could not do earlier, right? Because I'm leveraging those technologies, I'm going to earn out of that, right? But security is very crucial. So I know that a lot of SMEs will talk to them. They'll say, "यार, हमारा काम मार्बल बनाना है." For example, मैं क्या cyber security में invest करूँगा? Why should I do it? मुझे कौन hack करेगा, right? But let me tell this to you. As a hacker, I'll tell you, we find any and everybody interesting. We don't care how much money you have in your bank account. If I have to get an opportunity to see you in me like this, what you do, I will do it. Because it doesn't matter who you are, right? So if you think हमको कौन hack करेगा, it is not true. And there are tools to automate it also. Like for example, warm GPT. Have you heard of it? Warm GPT. ChatGPT सुना है? तो warm GPT से आप लोग वायरस बनाते हैं एक कमांड ड्रॉप टाइप करके कि कैसा वायरस बना जो बटन पे बंदा क्लिक करेगा तो सारा ड्राइव फॉर्मेट होना चाहिए या फिर उसका ईमेल का पासवर्ड को मिल जाना चाहिए. You can actually do it with AI, right? And because of AI, the acceleration in hacking has increased tremendously, right? And we have wonderful neighbors next to us. इस तरफ पाकिस्तान उस तरफ चाइना है, right? और जो दोस्त हमको बोलते हैं वो सच में दोस्त नहीं है, right? Because I'll tell you one thing. MSMEs, if you want to do business, there are allies, there are politics, there are other businesses at play. So when you start importing and exporting, you start realizing that the life is not so easy. There are a lot of things that can impact your business, and cybersecurity is one of them. And if your account gets hacked, then everything is gone for a toss. So if you invest some money in tools and technologies, in the right tools and technologies, it can help you a lot. And there are many tools and technologies. I believe that in the next 30-40 minutes, so when we get to speak more, I'll share some of these tools and technologies that you definitely should invest in as a startup or as a company that can at least help you grow well. So my take on this is that one, process and technology is the key factor for success. Just praying to Lakshmi Devi is not going to make you successful in life. So you need to build the culture of what you pray as a ritual in your business and in life. Only then you will be successful. So technology is definitely you should adopt, right? Second thing, don't ignore cyber security. Don't think that you are nobody. Everybody is interested in you, right? So learn something. Basics also required, but make sure that you protect yourself and your employees' data and your data. That's what's important. Thank you.
Communication is normal English. I get your point. English has deteriorated. These AI tools have not improved the humans. They have deteriorated the humans. Right? We've become now addicts. Machines have started learning, and humans have started unlearning. Right? Yes, it has deteriorated.
Hello, I'm architect Ankit Tagre. I am empaneled with the different development authorities, so I carry a lot of licensing work with the private clients as well as with the government as well. So I just want to understand how can I automate my particular services and professional services, because there's a lot of approvals that I have to get approvals from the government and a lot of babus and everything like that. So sometimes it takes less of a time, sometimes it takes most of the time. So how am I supposed to automate that, because there's a lot of energy that gives into it?
See, I believe that somewhere you would need a kind of a workflow or business system along with a document management system. So try implementing a document management system along with some sort of workflows. So the moment you have certain approval processes in place, that approved document goes into a repository which can be accessed by different roles.
We already have a BPMS for that.
I think that's the way forward, right? Any other point?
I think you need a good secretary, I think, because
We already have it, but it takes time.
Babu said all, you can't.
Because you answered the question.
We can automate Babu.
No, ERP can predict that. I wanted to understand that.
So my question is related to we are actually going through a turmoil in terms of environment and sustainability. How much of AI currently is really used for the real immediate application from a sustainability point of view, rather than say using it for consumer products or maybe in any other area? And what should we prioritize? Because that's a very important area from a world sustainability point of view.
So I am not an expert on this domain, but I have friends who are struggling with the similar problems. What they have done, I can just, whatever we converse, we learn a lot of things. So they definitely are implementing the processes, and AI definitely is there where they are using it in some capacity. Maybe, are you talking about reducing the carbon footprint or?
Use towards making things better for human beings.
No, when you say sustainability and environment.
Processes and systems, how they can be made better in terms of new innovation, R&D, so that new products can come up and they are better utilized for human being rather than consumer applications, I would say.
You're talking about how AI can actually impact the future research work?
Yeah.
Because that is how it is.
How applications can be made much more useful from immediate sustainability point of view rather than putting it to consumer use in the immediate application.
That I think I would ask her to answer it from an AI perspective.
So it's an interesting question. Your question is from an ESG standpoint, climate tech, ESG, how do you make it more sustainable? This conversation happened, I just take a detour and come back to there. When this cryptos happened, crypto mining used to guzzle a lot of energy. In this AI, and I want to take to the other side of it, what is happening. AI is also a huge energy guzzler. Right, I want to highlight this point before coming back to the point to make it more responsive. Because this GPU, right, graphic processing units, have huge compute capabilities. They also guzzle a lot of energy. So they are not carbon positive in that sense. And we have to be mindful when we talk about AI. Coming back to the specific question whether AI is getting used for some of the use cases like sustainability, yes they are. For example, many of the advanced economies are using in agriculture best practices, right? How do you use water targeted to just the kind of the seeds? How do you use that in the earlier presentation we talked about in the earlier session? How do you use pesticides to just sprinkle where it is needed? How do you sprinkle the urea only where it is needed in the soil? Right? With AI, you can do so many things, and there are so many applications that are built using AI. Mobility, for example, right? You understand mobility very well. In the EV side, the mobility side. And those use cases are there, but those are B2B. Therefore, we are not seeing that profound impact like ChatGPT, which is B2C. They are all happening at the same pace, but they are at the back because they are on a B2B basis.
Last one.
Basically, as a SME, there are n number of tools in the market, AI and non-AI tools, and most of the staff are not that literate to understand that. I can't just go around buying n number of tools and try and explain them. How do we select a tool? Like, from bunch of tools? Like, though there are n number of tools
you're absolutely right. Someone who's adopting AI should be the checkbox. For example, my example, and I give very simple. So we were using Trello boards, right? How many of you have used Trello boards? Trello. It's a tool to capture your workflow for project team, product team, right? We migrated, so Trello is not AI driven now, right? The AI adoption is very slow. And I'm giving an example, don't go by names. How we took a decision? We evaluated ClickUp, right? Again, one more tool which is there for workflows, and it is AI driven. So we immediately shifted, and it was very difficult for us to shift. So we shifted to AI driven tool. So simple answer is, check out in the demos whether they are driven by AI, whether they are open for adopting AI, then you should definitely choose it, because it's going to be faster, cheaper, better.
Last point I would like to add. I strongly believe that if you are a company investing in AI, if you are the one who decided, there's at least a 100 training workshops available on complete AI introductions. You must attend those workshops and get some knowledge about it before you buy this thing. Because there are a lot of startups also who fake AI do it because they just want to get the investment in, right? So there are many products with the buzzword AI है तो ठीक है वो बोल के just put it in. So if you end up paying a premium for a tool which doesn't have that kind of, because some tasks don't require AI, they can just be done like that. It's just normal computing. You don't need an AI as such to come and do the job perfectly, right? You don't need it sometimes. So don't be fooled by it. I would rather recommend that take 2 days off from office, go for a training workshop, attend a one-to-one session from an AI expert in a classroom, and learning is never ending for everyone. So that will help you a lot in this.
I have just one last question. Is there lead generation automation possible, or if yes, what are the tools, and sales team का जो process होता है, sales conversion automation possible? If yes, what are the tools for that? Lead generation and sales conversion.
CRM systems available here, wherein any kind of a lead from social media to anybody sending up.
Conversion is also possible. You can use AI by Rama sir. Make your own clone, give the script, they will give all the demos and get your work. Am I right, sir?
आप जितने भी sales वाले हैं उनका काम क्यों?
Thank you.
I think it's a take that the owner has to take, because CRM is those generating leads is a very sensitive issue, right? Whether you want to go ahead with one kind of a business processes or not, so that fall has to be more or less manual. I would say that. There are tools available
For that, because I have to convince her. But till now it's almost more than 5 years. From 30-35 stores, there are now 60 stores. She doesn't even see all reports comes automated, everything. So just an example to say how technology can enable an entrepreneur to focus on his own business rather than focusing your time on or wasting your time on operations. As sir said, he has not visited his office just because of technology. He has set up all the processes. He doesn't believe on any human being. He believes on the reports which are coming out from the softwares, from the whatever applications he has deployed. So technology enables you, because most of here are entrepreneurs, that can enable you to work on your business rather than involved in operations. So we'll open for Q&A.
Merchant exporter. I am doing drop shipping for medicines from Nagpur. I am totally on the online platforms. I am using like IIM and other platforms, and I am getting the business. What precaution I shall take to protect my business from cyber security?
You're doing drop shipping business?
Yeah.
Of what exactly?
Medicines. I am using medical drop shipping.
Medicines.
Yeah. I am using the platforms like IndiaMart and through email and ground. I'm connecting with the customers and I'm getting the orders and I'm supplying for that same.
Are you using any automated platforms for dropshipping or no?
No, I'm using India Mart particularly.
Only India Mart.
Yeah.
And for your shipping and all, is it?
It is through DHL or Aramex or India Post.
Is it automated? Like the moment order comes today?
I have to prepare the parcels, I have to prepare all the documents. But my question is that how I should protect my business from cyber security.
So there are actually multiple answers to this. First is that there's a great scope of improvement in your current business also. You can automate a lot of things where order comes in, you don't even have to look into it. They will come to know how to ship it, they'll print the labels and pack it and will ship it also. Maybe you'll spend a few rupees more extra on it, but then you will save your time in life. You can spend more time with your family. That is one, right? So entrepreneurship is a curse actually, right? If you can either be with family or either be into business, right? So you should know how to use technology for that. So there's a great scope of improvement on that area. Second is also cyber security. It depends on how big the business is, right? If it is something which is very popular and people know the brand, then first is you should do a trademark registration for whatever brand you're using. Obvious product protection you should always invest in. Second is that at least if you have people trained in your office or working, they should be aware of how cyber crimes happen, how not to get scammed. So there's a very popular scam called BEC scam, like business event compromise. So someone will know who your customers are in the future. They get find an email ID, they will send them the email ID with the bank account details and transfer the money, and it will be your name, but the money will go to somebody else, and they lose the money in the process. And they start billing you on social media that you are a scammer, right? So simple thing is on domain there is a way in which you can secure your domain so that it cannot be used for phishing purposes. That's one. Second is that on your email services or your devices which you're using, switch to MacBook or Apple services, because there are generally less hackers interested in Apple devices, so you are generally more safer than Windows. Right? Not that they cannot be hacked, they can be, but switch to an Apple ecosystem, it will be hassle-free for you as an interpreter. And third would be that invest in training your employees on basics of cyber security so that they don't get scammed on calls. That's a very basic thing you can do. That's mine.
So good afternoon. So like social media in today's time is a part and parcel of our daily life. So the construction of language has gone down. Many youngsters who are part of having this social media as a regular itinerary, the construction has actually disturbed the total sequence of an English line. Do you think like AI as it is entering into the system gradually